Okay, so I'm seriously annoyed. I literally already did like roughly half of this freaking this freaking bracket. But then there's this whole warning sign, and apparently all the stuff I did in that, well, all the things I said during that didn't count in the video. So yeah, sorry folks, but for the first half of this, I'm kind of gonna rush through my quick opinions. Okay, so round two. Well, you can watch round one to see what made it to round two. In terms of what won round two, Deep Space Homer versus Brush of Greatness. Brush of Greatness won. A Streetcar Named Marge versus Dog of Death. Streetcar Named Marge wins. Bart's Comet versus This Little Wiggy. Bart's Comet wins. Das Bus wins over Day the Violence Died. Millhouse Divided beats Lisa gets an A. Way We Was beats Lisa the Iconoclast. Wild Bart's Can't Be Broken beats Lisa Sachs. Last Exit to Springfield defeats Stress of Horror 4. Homer Goes to College defeats Mr. Lisa Goes to Washington. Lemon of Troy beats Mysterious Voyage of Our Homer. Dead Pudding Society beats Bart's Girlfriend. Rosebud beats Bart the Lover. Lisa the Beauty Queen beats Life on the Fast Lane. Treehouse of Horror 3 beats Marge and Shane's. Springfield Connection beats Simpsons Spinoff Showcase. Bart Sells His Soul beats Bart Gets an Elephant. One Fish, Two Fish, Bluefish, Blowfish beats Bart the Genius. Simpson and Delilah beats Treehouse of Horror 9. Last Temptation of Homer beats Treehouse of Horror 6. Grandpa versus Sexual Inadequacy beats Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 2. Radioactive Man beats Bart Who Knew Too Much. Two Bad Neighbors beats Mother Simpson. Treehouse of Horror 5 beats G and Scratchyland. Krusty gets canceled and defeats No Disgrace Like Home. Homer's Triple Bypass beats Home Sweet Home Diddly Dum Doodly. And Maggie Makes 3 beats Mountain of Madness. As Star as Burns beats Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. And now to the one I was up to date with before the stupid stream decided just to be awful. I think Homer Defined is a superior episode to the Sherry Bobbins episode. I'm super sorry that I had to rush through all those. Actually, if you want to know why I think those episodes are better than the ones they beat, please let me know in the comments. This is me trying to turn this horrible situation into something better. But yeah, those are all the episodes that won. And I'm going to have to say all of them again by the end of this video. Boy. I am now on round 29. I Love Lisa versus the Springfield Files. I Love Lisa is simply just the superior episode to me. I've never, much like how with A Star is Burns, I never saw The Critic. I never seen The X-Files, and I don't want to watch The X-Files. I'm not into, like, monster stuff. I don't get a lot out of this episode. Season 7's actually, I shouldn't say that. Springfield Files is actually still a really good episode. I just think I Love Lisa is just simply funnier and it features Ralph, who is a personal highlight of mine. A Fish Called Selma from season 7 versus Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie from season 8. Funny I said for defeats, because I actually vastly prefer Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie. Again, it's a fun. The thing with Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie that I think I didn't even go into in round 1 is that, in a way, it's a fun commentary on the show itself. Remember, this episode came out during Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie, I think either was the episode I think it was the episode to officially defeat the Flintstones in terms of having the most episodes of an animated adult series. In a way, this episode is really meant to be a comment on The Simpsons itself and how the show's become, and in general, what the series has turned into. And it's pretty much just them being like, how can we be relevant? It's not like the show has gotten worse, it's just people aren't as interested. But even then, it's okay if you didn't know that because the episode's just in general so fun that even if you didn't know the commentary and the behind the show scenes, you could still just be like, hey, this is a funny episode. I definitely prefer it over A Fish Called Selma. Sorry, Dr. Sayus. Season 8's Hurricane Nettie versus Season 10's Homer to the Max. Sorry, Homer to the Max. I feel so bad for season 10. It is so obviously the weakest season here, and even season 9 also to a degree. Hurricane Eddie's the obvious winner, though. It's probably some of the best The Simpsons have done in terms of breaking down Ned's character, and I love it. Grade School Confidential from season 8 versus season 7's The 138th Episode Spectacular. Like I already mentioned, 138th Episode Spectacular is. It's the equivalent of watching a bonus features on a DVD. Which is why I don't. It's technically the only clip show that to make it past round 1, but even then, I don't even view it as a clip show. Because it doesn't feel like a clip show. They aren't clips of episodes; they're deleted scenes, OG Tracy Ullman shorts, endings to Who Shot Mr. Burns. Grade School Confidential is still a really good one, but I can't deny the 130th episode spectacular for just being so dang unique. Round 33, Lisa's Pony versus Bart Star. I think Bart Star is better. Lisa's Pony is solid. A solid little not Bart, but a solid little Homer and Lisa story, but Bart Star is simply one of the funniest episodes of season 9. It in general is just a really funny episode of the show. I think it's up there as one of the most underrated episodes. People don't. This is such a consistently hilarious episode. People don't give it the time of day, I swear. Round 34. Season 5's Cape Fear versus Season 6's PTA Disbands. Cape Fear is one of the best episodes of all time. It's up there with Last Exit as one of the most consistently hilarious episodes of anything ever. And it's a very difficult episode to beat as well. PTA Disbands is still a great one, but it just isn't on Cape Fear's level. Number 35. My apologies. Season 4 is Duffless versus Season 4 is Lisa's First Word. Ooh. I don't have much to say, in all honesty. Duffless is a great episode. These are both really good, but I think Duffless is better. It has a funny Bart and Lisa B plot. The main Homer plot is funny, seeing him have to give up alcohol. Lisa's First Word is still a pretty good flashback, but it's not up there with Maggie Makes 3 and The Way We Was, Number 36 is Season 7's Team Homer versus Season 9's Dumbbell Indemnity. Obvious win to Team Homer here. It's a funny little. Bowling is probably like my favorite sport because it's one of the only ones I actually like. So just seeing characters bowling, like Life on the Fast Lane from Season 1 was good. But that one, it felt like bowling was more so just an aesthetic for Marge's love story. This is straight up seeing jokes about the characters bowling, and it is so fun. Does beat out Dumbbell Indemnity, which is a solid Mo episode, but it definitely doesn't beat Team Homer. Season 6 is Homie the Clown versus Season 4's The Front is next, and I think The Front's B-plot is just a worse version of Homer Goes to College. Simply because that episode was just a longer and extended version of that B-plot. So already, the B-plot kind of just feels like something they would go on to do better. And Homie the Clown is just the better episode. I think it's more funny. It kind of feels, it is pretty much just the writers being like, hey, did you know Homer and Krusty were originally meant to be the same person? Let's just do an episode that kind of acknowledges how similar they look. And they actually do like that. Season 10's Mom and Pop Art versus Season 6's Homer the Great. Homer the Great is the superior episode. Mom and Pop Art is okay, but I think, again, it only even got to round 2 because the thing it was going up against was also not really that strong. Season 8's Homer's Phobia versus Season 2's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? These are both great episodes. I love these ones. Homer's Phobia, like mentioned in round 1, it does such a good job at tackling like people's views on gay people in the 90s. However, I am straight, so therefore, I don't think I get as much out of this episode as someone who maybe is of the LGBTQ plus experience. And Oh Brother Where Art Thou is the first of the Herb Homer's twin brother episodes, and it's definitely better than the other one, which isn't even on here. That lost last round. Oh Brother Where Art Thou is simply just a better episode, but I could see a case for why Homer's phobia is better, but again, just this is my personal opinion, and I think Oh Brother Where Art Thou is easily the stronger episode. Season five's Marge on the Lamb versus season one's Krusty Gets Busted. You know what? I actually prefer the season one episode. Marge on the Lamb is funnier, but it's not like the best collection of jokes in the show ever. Krusty Gets Busted, although I'm not a big Sideshow Bob fan, this is probably his second best episode behind Cape Fear. Remember, I don't generally like Sideshow Bob episodes, so these two are like big exceptions. But I think Krusty Gets Busted is overall a stronger episode. Yeah. How's that for a hot take? Marge on the Lamb is good, and it does have the Sunshine Lollipops song. And Lionel Hutz is in it, and he's a funny character. It's like Marge on the Lamb is like a consistently funnier experience. So again, if you simply just prefer humor, if that's all you want, you would I feel like it's an obvious win for that one. But for someone like me who watches The Simpsons for more than humor, although humor is still a big factor, I think Krusty Gets Busted is overall a better experience. So. Season 4 is Marge Gets a Job versus Season 4 is Camp Krusty. Two Season 4 episodes enter. Camp Krusty easily wins. That's just a fun camp-centric episode. Seeing the kids rally up. Seeing the kids pretty much just going against this evil camp is super fun. Marge Gets a Job has an okay Bart B plot, and seeing Mr. Burns fall in love with Marge is cute, but Camp Krusty's overall just a better experience. Season 1's Bart the General versus Season 6's A Fear of Flying. Okay, sorry, Season 1. You got Krusty Gets Busted, but Fear of Flying is obviously better. It does a good job showing how trauma can really affect someone. Well, I guess trauma probably isn't the right word, but I don't know what else to call it. Plus, Fear of Flying has this amazingly funny opening bit with Homer having to find a different bar, which is one of my favorite opening bits in the entire show. It barely connects to the rest of it, but I don't care. It is just so funny. Season 8's Burns Baby Burns versus Season 3's Bart the Murderer is up next, and yeah, Bart the Murderer is better. Like, I don't like the beginning of it when it's just Bart being miserable, but the Mafia stuff is so good. Burns Baby Burns, Rodney Dangerfield, I think his name is. Yeah, he was the guest star playing Burns' long-lost son. And if I'm not mistaken, he heavily rewrote the episode to fit more with his style of humor, and well, it's good. I like that episode, but it's not one of the strongest. Bart the Murderer is easily superior. Season 5's Homer the Vigilante versus Season 8's and Marjorie Trust. Homer the Vigilante is just way funnier. And Marjorie Trust, I didn't like the Mr. Sparkle stuff. I know for a fact that's going to be considered a hot take, but it's my opinion. I simply didn't like that part as much. The Listen Lady stuff was good, but even on its own, it does not beat Homer the Vigilante, which is just killer joke after killer joke. Okay, next we got Season 2 is Principal Charming and 3 Men in a Comic Book. Season 2 episodes enter, and I think 3 Men in a Comic Book is overall better. It's a bit funnier, and I think it's just a better story with Bart, Milhouse, and Martin of all characters. Later on, they kind of make Nelson the third guy. So seeing Martin for once, even though he's not one of my favorites or anything, it is a nice change of pace. Even if, Richard and Lewis exist, just use Richard and Lewis. Use Richard and or Lewis. They're here. They exist still. No one who's watching this will know who Richard and Lewis are, and that makes me very, very sad. Bart gets an F versus Separate Vocations. Bart gets an F is a beautifully emotional episode, and I love it. Like I said in round one, it is simply one of the most relatable episodes I think I've ever seen in any piece of media. Separate Vocations is still great though, but it just doesn't. But it cannot compete to Bart Gets an F. That one's story is so beautiful. Season 8's Homer versus the 18th Amendment versus Season 9's Simpson Tide. Simpson Tide is good. Homer versus the 18th Amendment is peak. I think it's obvious what my favorite episode is between these two. All right, now we get to season 3. We're really starting to see two episodes from the same season compete against each other, which I honestly think is way easier than two seasons that feel completely different, like 2 and 5, or I don't know, 1 and 7 as random examples. Actually, 1 and 7 are both more relatable, like more down to earth seasons. They actually work better than I thought they did. But yeah, it's way easier when it's just two episodes of the same season because they have the same style of humor, the same overall gist. Like I said last time, though, Homer at the Bat simply just is one of my favorite episodes of all time. Flaming Moe's is also another one of my all-time faves, but Homer at the Bat is simply just way funnier. Therefore, I do think it beats it. The third and final page. I'm not going to show the pages because you couldn't see them anyway, and I'm going to say them all at the end anyway, so. Okay, so for round 49, Season 10's 30 Minutes Over Tokyo versus Season 7's Lisa the Vegetarian. Lisa the Vegetarian is better. Season 6's 2001 Greyhounds versus Season 5's Boy Scouts and the Hood. The Boy Scouts one is better. 2001 Greyhounds, again, was just meh. I think the episode above it that I was competing against around 1 was also just meh, hence why it even got round 2 in the first place. Ah boy, 22 short films about Springfield versus Lisa Substitute. Again, season 7 and 2 are such different creatures. But 22 short films, man, getting all these little spots. Lisa's sub is still in a beautifully emotional episode. Mr. Bergstrom is a legend. But you can't be 22 short films, man. That's so great. Will it win this whole bracket? We'll see. I don't know. Some people are going to be like, stop spoiling it if this is your favorite. And then I'm all like, was it the best one? We're just going to have to see. Like, saying, I'm just making it sound like I know I'm sounding like an idiot when I talk like that, but I don't care. I think it's funny. Homer They Fall from season 8 versus Homer versus Lisa and the 8th Amendment Commandment from season 2. Homer versus Lisa, obvious better app. Homer They Fall is again just meh. We have the original Treehouse of Horror from season 2 versus season 5's $sign Prinkfield. I think Springfield, aka $sign Prinkfield, is the better episode. The OG Treehouse of Horror should still be remembered fondly for what it brought, but this one's just better. Season 2's Blood Feud versus Season 6's Lisa's Rival. Lisa's Rival is, again, the better episode. Simply one of the most underrated episodes. The Lisa plot is this is one of the better Lisa episodes, and the Homer Sugar stuff is good enough to make it better. Round 55. You Only Move Twice versus Homer's Enemy. These are two of the greatest episodes of all time. These are both top 10 episodes. But which one's better? This is a tough choice. I think just barely, and I do mean just barely, because these are both top 3 episodes. I think Homer's Enemy is slightly better. I think the rivalry between Homer Simpson and Frank Grimes, as one-sided as it was, is still so meaningful and teaches such a real lesson about real life. You Only Move Twice cannot compete with that. Number 56. Season 1's Telltale Head versus Season 6's Lisa on Ice. Lisa on Ice is the obvious superior episode. Funny / emotional. Well, Telltale is only just emotional, it's not so much the humor. And okay, this is kind of awkward, but due to the odd number of episodes at 113, I had to give the final round had to be a quick free space, meaning this episode kind of had to awkwardly just join. Meaning this episode had to awkwardly get a pass without having any competition. So, Bart the Daredevil from season 2, you are also in it. You get the free space, my friend. You get to join without any competition. I mean, you are just a perfectly good season 2 episode, so it's not like I'm really that upset at letting you join. Okay, I still feel really bad about like the fact that the first half I kind of had to skip through. So, while saying the episodes, I'm gonna quickly say why I think they won to begin with. Again, I really hate that stupid thing happened where I kind of had to restart the stream, but whatever. For the ones making it into round 3, Brush of Greatness. It beat Deep Space Homer because while seasons 2 and 5 are completely different beasts, I think Brush of Greatness is a great season 2 example, while Deep Space Homer is only a pretty good season 5 example. A Streetcar Named Marge beats Dog of Death because I don't like Dog of Death that much. This little Biggie, this little Wiggy and Bart's Comet. Bart's Comet is better. Both are good, but Bart's Comet I think is a bit more enjoyable. Day the Violence Died versus Das Bus. Das Bus just barely won out Day the Violence Died, and it's because it was cool seeing a kid's adventure for once. We rarely get that. And look at me with all the students, I mean, you know. Even Lewis and Wendell got to join in. That's how much they wanted to show these kids off. Don't take it literally. Lisa gets an A versus a Millhouse Divided. Millhouse Divided. Can I borrow a feeling? That song alone makes us easily better. This is the Iconoclast versus Way We Was. Way We Was is a way better emotional episode, therefore it wins. Lisa Sachs versus Wild Barts Can't Be Broken. Wild Barts Can't Be Broken is one of the best season 10 episodes, and I only didn't talk about it last time because it was against the freaking kidney episode. But yeah, I like it more than Lisa said, though that was a really good emotional episode. Last Exit to Springfield won against Jurassic 4 because Last Exit to Springfield is one of the most consistently funny episodes of anything ever. So yeah, I think it beats out Jurassic 4 quite easily. Homer Goes to College versus Mr. Lisa Goes to Washington. Homer Goes to College is better. Simply just a fun episode, and I don't even care for Mr. Lisa that much. Lemon of Troy is one of the best episodes of all time. Easily beats out Mysterious Voyage of Our Homer, although it is still pretty close. Bart's Girlfriend from Season 6 beats Season 2's Dead Pudding Society. We know it doesn't. Dead Pudding Society beats it. Dead Pudding Society is a really great Season 2 episode. A Homer-Flanders rivalry is super great. Bart's Girlfriend is still a really good one, though. This is a tough choice. Rosebud beats Bart the Lover simply because Rosebud is really, really funny. And Bart the Lover isn't like the best emotional episode ever or anything. Life on the Fast Lane from Season 1 is solid, but Lisa the Beauty Queen from Season 4 by pure jokes alone beats it. Jurassic 3 beats Marge and Chains. Marge and Chains is only as good as it is because I love Lionel Hutz. Jurassic 3 is a more complete package and is more consistently good despite both being from Season 4. Simpsons spin-off Showcase is mid, and No Duh Springfield Connection beats it. Bart Sells His Soul and Bart Gets an Elephant are two of the best Bart episodes, but I think Bart Sells His Soul, the whole soul debate, is just a bit more interesting, and just the one I'd rather watch in all honesty. No hate to Bart Gets an Elephant. That's still a really hilarious episode. One Fish, Two Fish, and Bart the Genius. Both are good character episodes, but I think One Fish, Two Fish is better in that department. Simpson and Delilah beats Dress of Horror 9. Simply because Dress of Horror 9 was a pretty good one, but not like one of the best treehouses ever. Probably because of, I don't know, I think it was maybe lacking a bit in the jokes overall. Simpson and Delilah was easy better pick. Last Temptation of Homer is such a brilliant Homer look. Probably the best marriage crisis of the whole show. It definitely beats Dress of Horror 6. Grandpa versus Sexual Inadequacy is super underrated, and I like it more than Part 2 for Mr. Burns. Radioactive Man beats out Boy Who Knew Too Much. Boy Who Knew Too Much, for being a season 5 episode, wasn't the most funny thing ever. Therefore, I prefer Radioactive Man. Two Bad Neighbors and Mother Simpson, 2 season 7 episodes. Two Bad Neighbors won pretty well, I must say. It's Mother Simpson's better at being emotional, but Two Bad Neighbors is just the one I'd rather want to watch. I'm sorry. Dress of Horror 5 is the best Dress of Horror in the whole show. Very obviously beats out Itchy and Scratchy Land, although that one's still really good too. I mean, come on. You can't hate the episode with Bort. Krusty Gets Cancelled versus No Disgrace Like Home. Sorry, season 1, but Krusty Gets Cancelled is easily better. And to quickly finish it off, Homer's Triple Bypass from season 4 and Homer Sweet Home Diddly Dum Doodly both try to be funny while having some emotional stuff in there. Homer's Triple Bypass is better. And Maggie Makes 3 versus Mountain of Madness. And Maggie Makes 3 is one of the best flashback episodes and is funnier. Mountain of Madness is good, but not like one of the best. And finally, A Star Is Burns has Boo Earns and a man getting hit by football. Sorry, Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. No, you are a perfectly good satire, but you cannot be Boo. Are you saying Boo or Boo Earns? Boo! I was saying Boo Earns. Once again, I know I apologize. This is like my 3rd or 4th time doing it now, but I really am sorry. I know this makes the video way worse, but what can I say? Join me in round 3, where hopefully I will actually be able to do it properly this time. Thank you for watching.